very latest from across the nation and around the world. This is your primetime news bulletin. A very good evening. I'm Shane Silva.
I'm Sonali Wanigabadage. Now, several of our colleagues here at News First were recognized tonight at the State Television Awards in Colombo. We will have more details coming up later on in the news.
That's right, Sonali. But before that, let's take a look at the headlines. The US says that it will sponsor a procedural resolution regarding Sri Lanka at the UN Human Rights Council session. The President says that attention has been drawn to re-amend the constitution. Investigations launched into the discovery of ballot papers for the recent presidential election from Kalagedi Hena. And Australian cricketer Glenn Maxwell apologises for the tense situation at the second 2020 game with Sri Lanka.
A demonstration was held in Colombo demanding the government to stop suppressing the media. The demonstration was titled Black January.
Those who joined the Black January demonstration demonstrated at the Lipton Circus. The government is now entering the second innings of new liberal capitalism. In an economy like Sri Lanka, the government will have to go for liberal capitalistic reforms by dragging each and everyone into slavery. There are forces that are acting against the labourers, the farmers, the fishermen and the students. One such step of oppression is the campaign that has been launched against journalists and media institutions. This government first laid its hands on the media. Every January they start off by burning media institutions, breaking into the studios and attacking journalists. The government engaged in an organized scheme to oppress the media. Now what are they doing? The government is bringing in new legislations to continue with those powers it had under the emergency laws that were previously in force. Today we can see this government acting in a very ad hoc manner, suppressing the media, the judiciary and the legislature. This is a very directorial journey. It is a very dangerous situation and I think the time has come for the people of this country to wake up. Politicians, civil activists and many others took part in the demonstrations and made their way to the public library auditorium in Colombo. They later held a seminar.
The US says that it will sponsor a procedural resolution regarding Sri Lanka at the UN Human Rights Council session in March. Reuters reported that the delegation of US Deputy Assistant Secretaries who are currently on an official visit to Sri Lanka made this revelation when they met reporters in Colombo yesterday.
US Deputy Assistant Secretaries of State James Moore and Jane Zimmerman are currently visiting Sri Lanka along with the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defence Vikram Singh. Speaking with journalists in Colombo yesterday, Deputy Assistant Secretary of State James Moore said the 23 nations, including the US, which voted for the resolution on Sri Lanka at the previous Human Rights Council session, believe that the Sri Lankan government will carry out the promises made to the people. Moore also said at this meeting that a procedural resolution would be put forward when the Human Rights Council convenes in March. A procedural resolution amends or adds clauses to a previous resolution. Reuters reports that the US may be taking this step due to dissatisfaction with progress made in implementing the resolution passed at the previous Human Rights Council session. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defence Vikram Singh said, quote, "It is safe to say that the impeachment of the Chief Justice also contributed to the decision to ensure that the record against Sri Lanka stays fresh in Geneva," unquote. Meanwhile, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Navanithan Pillay, has said that a review report on Sri Lanka will be submitted to the Human Rights Council in March. When we made inquiries, the Secretary to the Ministry of External Affairs, Dr. Karunathilakamanu said whether or not a resolution is brought at the Human Rights Council, Sri Lanka is prepared to report on the progress in implementing the recommendations of the LLRC report to the Council. Amanugama noted that Dr. Shirani Bandaranaike was impeached on provisions made through the Constitution, adding that foreign missions had been informed of this. Since the highest possible official had to be appointed to head this commission and compile a report, Secretary to the President Lalit Weeratunga was appointed to head it. At the same time, money has been allocated for this from the last budget. This cannot be done in haste. We would like to state that we always have and always will work towards acting on this independently in accordance with the law. These groups are now attempting to use a political weapon against us. This political weapon is human rights. Today, human rights are a political weapon. Human rights are a weapon used to oppress rapidly growing countries like us. Now we can face this. We are looking forward to facing this. We have the courage. We also have a practical program.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that attention has been focused on amending the country's constitution. The president expressed this view at a meeting with the heads of print and electronic media institutions at Temple Trees yesterday.
Responding to questions raised by journalists at the meeting, President Rajapaksa had said that the proposed amendments to the constitution will be made through a parliamentary committee. The president had also said that he will reconsider the revisions of the fare for the registration of marriages and that measures have been taken to exempt the indigenous community from this fee. Also responding to a question raised by a journalist, President Rajapaksa had said that by appointing Sanath Jayasuriya as the chairman of the Sri Lanka Cricket Selection Committee, the sport will not become politicized. The president had said that Sanath Jayasuriya is the ideal candidate for the position.
Ten ministers, 2 project ministers and 6 deputy ministers were sworn in before President Mahinda Rajapaksa last morning. Views were expressed regarding these appointments at media briefings convened today.
Sri Lanka has the largest cabinet of ministers in the world. A massive cost has to be borne to maintain a large cabinet, and a response must be provided to the question of whether a small country like us needs such a large cabinet. But this is the government policy. When appointing a cabinet of ministers in our country, there is no scientific foundation at all. The real reason is very clear. Positions have been given to those who spoke the most during the impeachment motion. There is even a new kind of minister, even for sugar. Lakshman Seneviratne, who came over from the UNP to accept anything, has been made the sugar minister. In the near future, we may have a dal minister, a sprats minister, a coconut minister, a stone minister, a chickpea minister, and even a green gram minister in this jumbo cabinet.
මුංගට ඇමතිලා බිහි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේක මේ ජම්බෝ කැබිනට් එක දැන් මේක නිකම්ම ජම්බෝ නෙමෙයි. මේක ඉලාස්ටික් ජම්බෝ. ඇදෙනවා.
මේ කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයේ බර වැඩි මේක නඩත්තු කරන්න බෑ කියලා එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ ජනතා ආයුක්ත පෙරමුණ කියනවා. 2001 ඉඳන් 2004 රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාගේ ආණ්ඩුව කාලේ කොහොමද
The UNP and JVP are saying that this cabinet is too heavy and that its weight cannot be borne. So what about Ranil Wickremesinghe's government between 2001 and 2004? The UNP, which named ministers who had no jobs to do, are now donning a white cloth and saying that they were squeaky clean when they were in cabinet. The JVP levels various criticisms at the government regarding the cabinet, let alone this lifetime. I do not think the JVP can claim power in even a Pradeshya Sabha in the next 7 lifetimes.
ආත්ම 7කටවත් පුළුවන් ද JVP එකට ප්‍රාදේශීය සභාවක බලයක් ගන්න.
United National Party Parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa charges that the government has failed to provide relief to those affected by disasters. He made this statement at an event held in Chillau today.
People affected by disasters are not being given relief, but the henchmen, the deaf and dumb who carried out the biggest task in chasing off the Chief Justice through the impeachment motion have received a relief package. What is in this bag of relief? The best ministries. In order to consolidate their power, those at the top are littering ministers. Just because the number in the cabinet is increased, just because the heads in cabinet are changed around, the people will not receive any relief.
ඇමති මණ්ඩලය වැඩි කරයි කියලා ඇමති මණ්ඩල ඔලුබක්කොන්ගේ ඔලුමාරු කරයි කියලා රටේ ජනතාවට සහනයක් සෙටක් සැලසෙන්නේ නැහැ.
This event was held to distribute dry rations among the flood affected people of Manuangama Chilau under the Sahana Yatra program.
And up next is the newspaper cartoon of the day. News First Mahina Bongso won the Best English News Anchor Award for 2011 at the State Television Awards ceremony in Colombo this evening. This is incidentally the third consecutive time that she has won this award. Meanwhile, News First Rashmin Ranasinghe won the award for producing the Best Sinhalese Language Discussion Program for 2012, while Shanta Kulatunga won the award for the Best English Language Discussion Program for 2012. Manjula Prabhat Premaratna won the award for Best News Reporting for the years 2011 and 2012, while Lakmal Kilinigala won the Best Innovative Program Award for 2011. Priya Alala Sundaram won the award for the Best Tamil News Anchor for 2012.
News First will conduct their 75th workshop on media literacy for students from Deniyaya tomorrow.
The News First team believes that our responsibility goes beyond delivering information to the public, and we make efforts to contribute to society, and this is one such event. We have brought you closer to provide you with a daily insight on the fields of politics, economics and society. As we take you forward, we began a workshop 2 years ago on behalf of our nation's children on the subject of media literacy. We have travelled through villages and towns to give children a chance and encourage their capabilities. Sirasa TV is contributing immensely through its workshops on the media industry. This is a new subject that is being introduced to the school system, and I have never heard of a workshop such as this being conducted anywhere. We are thankful to Sirasa TV for holding such an event. I'd like to wish good luck to the Sirasa TV News First team for educating us on a subject that is new, and especially as a company teaching students from rural areas and educating them on the topic of media programs such as this.
මෙම ජනමාධ්‍ය පාඨමාලාව දැකලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ එහි ප්‍රතිඵල අත්විඳලා තියෙනවා. ඒකට සහභාගී වෙලා තියෙනවා.
I have personally witnessed this workshop being held in Matara. I have also experienced the results that are being reaped through such a workshop and have been a part of it, especially bringing the youth closer by exposing them to the use of media. More than being a Minister of Youth Affairs, as a father and as a citizen, I appreciate the efforts being made by Sirasa TV on educating the youth on this topic. The workshop will lay to rest all queries and clarifications the students of Deniyaya have on the subject of media.